Hello everyone, Frog Chaser over here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be playing Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. I hope you enjoy this series.
But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
Okay.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer.
Or Acorn.
I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carrying. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot. Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world. No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. Okay.
Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Of course, my supply has rather gone up in smoke. You can find more in the cloister woods to the northwest of Driftwood. Hardly a charming place, but it grows nowhere else. The Magisters kept records. Break into the Magister. Remember, these are...
The Meister sits slumped in...
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you... Then why, pray...
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Then why...
Stay strong on your holy mission, God.
Okay. That seems like a bug. Interesting. That's a Sark. Nice.
Thank you. Now I swim. Monsters gone. Swim free. Swim forever. It died. Eaten by a monster in the deep. I see. I was his monster in the deep.
Okay.
The spirit floats in front of you, his eyes unfocused and darting from side to side. Looking down at his mangled corpse at your feet, you see that the front is relatively unmarked, but his back has been eviscerated. Long, jagged cuts run the length of his torso. The spirit's eyes move in your direction, trying to focus, but he seems to look right through you.
A voice. Oh, I can still hear it in the dark. I can hear it whispering. He won't stop. His voice was everywhere. It danced with the screams. Insects with a dwarf's tongue. They came from above. They laughed as they cut us down.
The spirit doubles up, raking his hands across his face, ghostly nails cutting deep into spectrals.
No, I can hear it. Not the echoes. I can hear it. The voice. It's here.
Okay.
The spirit shudders and cries, tears running down his cheeks.
Oh, Divine Lucian, protect me. You seven ancient gods, please. Don't let it get me.
The spirit's eyes dart left and right. It reaches tentatively a hand out for a moment, but thinks better of it and turns away. The bull lazily chews non-existent card. It registers your presence.
Well, guess I should have seen that coming. Yep, sure do. Or did, leastways. All bulls can see the future. I'm surprised you don't know that. You sure you want to know? Alright. Yeah,
The bull shakes itself, swallows the card, clears its throat.
you're gonna die.
Okay.
Let me think about that now, too. Yeah. Okay. Right, here we go. Soon,
Okay.
maybe.
Maybe.
The bull shrugs.
Here. I don't suppose you could do me a favour and unhitch this here harness so as I can make my way to the field of echoes.
The bull nods its thanks and gently fades away.
I knew you'd say yes.
You dare strike me? Step back at once.
The spirits of a magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf spies your presence and staggers back to address you.
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh? Rightly so. Reds had sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan. And you know where they were sending them? You look like you've been there yourself.
The Magister lunges for the dwarf, his exasperation clear.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know Sorcerer's Law, Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan. Before it all, Voidwoken stole the sorcerers along the cliffs, headed for Seven knows where.
Not to flip your flops or nothing, but 'tis more that my boss Lohar is against magisters than for sorcerers, if you know what I mean.
The Magister snorts in disdain.
Loha, I should have known. Sorcerer, if you want to stay alive around these parts, you'll stay far, far away from that walking vermin. Though, on the other hand, maybe you should go stand near him. Maybe the Voidwoken could take him out where we failed. Ha!
The dwarf eyes you steadily and silently, his mouth a straight line and his eyes like marbles of steel. The Magister shrugs.
Well, if I knew that, we'd have taken him out long ago. All I can say is, he's somewhere in Driftwood, and everything he touches turns into annihilation. You dare strike me? Step back.
Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching 3 golden stalks in one fist. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnet. And you become Kinnet. His memories flooding over you and replacing your own. Warmth, comfort. You are Kinnet, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. You stagger to tipsy attention as a white-clad Magister commands that one of your troop seek a lost caravan. It's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. Who will investigate? You feel the short straw and hear them shout, Kinnet! You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. You dawdle and grumble all the way, sobering as you find the overturned caravan. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember secondhand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. As you approach a dark thicket, the stench grows stronger. In a flash of void and blood, a claw rakes savage stripes across your guts.
Oh.
As Kinnet dies, all goes black. Staggering back from Kinnet's deathly grasp, only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eyes, you see him trembling in front of you, desperately holding out 3 straws. As you pluck the short straw from his hands, Kinnet weeps with relief. His wound disappears in turn, and he is restored to the model image of a strapping young soldier. He looks around, then looks at you, and then he smiles. Smiling broadly, Kinnet fades away.
History is written by victors. Do not doubt our
Oblivious to your presence, the 2 spirits weave their dance. The dwarf turns to you, a quizzical look in his bright eyes.
You dare strike me? Step back at once.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken? I'm from the deserts of Mezd originally. My parents died when I was very young, no more than a cub. They were spice merchants, killed by bandits as we were trading on the forest roads. The elves nearby saved me afterwards. They found me hiding in a wagon and they took me in.
Ifan bites his lip, hard enough to draw blood.
You dare strike me? Step back at once.
They were my home until I was old enough to join the Order. Mother Melody always said I'd have a hard life. She saw it as fact, since I was born under the waxing moon.
Do not doubt
waxing moon.
Divine order will prevail. I'll show you. Low-heart.
He bursts out laughing, slapping his thigh.
We're two doomed peas in a pod, eh? I've been striving my whole life to prove mine wrong. To, zero success. So far, for sure. Always carry a snack.
Ifan reaches into his tunic pocket and pulls out a strip of dried raw meat. He takes a tiny bite and offers the rest to you.
Now, what else do I have to share?
Ifan rummages around the roll-down tops of his boots and grins in victory as he plucks a single mushroom from the folds.
Aha.
He hands you the mushroom with great ceremony, bowing as he holds it aloft.
History will remember you Reds with more venom than even the Black Ring.
Oh, I wouldn't. This one's not for eating. But I'll tell you, it comes in handy if you're dining with someone who really needs to lose their life. And soon.
Okay.
Ifan smiles and looks around before reaching high into his sleeve and pulling out a tiny herbal wrap. The unmistakable scent of Drudene hits you as he holds it out to you.
The last weapon in the lone wolf arsenal. You know, for after the toughest jobs.
He winks and tips his fingers to his temples before loping off.
Step back at once.
Okay.
History will remember you Reds with more venom than even the Black Ring.
History? History is written by victors.
Combine with.
Do not doubt. Our divine order will prevail. I'll show you. Low-heart boys are no match for Manchesters. Take that.
History will remember you Reds with more venom than even the Black Ring.
Victors, do not doubt.
Oh. How? Wait, what?
Come on.
Oh, that was a bug. Okay.
You can find a way across. Looky here, folks.
History is written by.
Let's see if we can get our chicken
Do
back.
not doubt. Our divine order will prevail. I'll show you. Low-heart boys are no match for Manchester.
Oh, nice.
Off you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. The reddish-coloured flesh beasts round here string your kind up by their hands. Well, I'm a rat, and you're some kind of stick-similar corpse gobbler. Never the twain shall mix, thus spaketh the reddish large-style flesh beasts. Just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering large-style flesh beast of her own. No thank you.
The rat hisses at you with sibilant
Carry on then, stink beast. Don't let little old me just...
Okay.
The shimmering ghost of a lizard magister turns her gaze upon you. She holds your stare, boring into your mind, searching the blacks of your eyes for the secrets of your soul. But in so doing, she shows you hers. You are Zeushan, a young lizard magister, devoted to the Order. More than this, you are in love with a comrade, a human man of wit and kindness and sweet disposition, who goes by the name
Boris.
of Boris.
Huh.
You are Zeushan once more. Alexander dies. Worse, your human comrades look at you askance, as if his murder was your fault. Even Boris turns against you.
Oh.
When he's posted to Fort Joy, he does not say goodbye. Your heart is broken. Posted to the graveyard shift in the dark of night on the outskirts of town, you do your duty diligently. But your heart is no longer in it. So when you catch a couple of young sorcerers fleeing Raymond's net, you see how deeply in love they are. You do not turn them in. You help them to escape. But in the morning, they are caught and under torture give you up. They go to Fort Joy. You are hanged right here.
Okay, that's not good.
There's one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
Oh, interesting. Is it because of level 10? That's pretty good. Cool.
I will yield to none.
little peeper.
There you are, little egg.
I saw! They were stolen! The babies! The eggs! Something took them! Ah! Transformed! Not a chicky baby anymore! All gone! All gone for good!
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh! Little Beeper baby, Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours.
Okay.
Unless some other scratchily poker found it first, of course. You helped us.
Okay. Return to the hands to check on the egg. Okay. When do I do that? Right. There's some treasure.
What's this? I found something.
There's no bit.
Did you expect a needle?
Okay. Masters of Minister Barak. Kids.